everyone, this is Professor Alex. I am here to create a quick tutorial for you on a few apps that I think are really important, not only for my class, but for college in general. We're going to talk about finding peer-reviewed sources and saving them and keeping track of them as well. So first of all, in terms of the important apps that you need, I have linked them all in Blackboard. If you click under the syllabus and important document tab, you'll see that towards the bottom, there's a link to Google Scholar, a link to sci-hub, and a link to download Zotero, which is a citation manager. It helps you keep track of your research and kind of almost helps you keep a copy of it so you don't lose it. So first of all, if we're looking for research, we would start with Google Scholar, right? So if we go into Google Scholar, we see it is essentially this page is to help you find research, peer-reviewed research. Not all of it's peer-reviewed. Sometimes they give you links to websites. So you do still need to check out what you're looking at. So really with Google Scholar, how I kind of suggest to start is pick two topics of interest, right? Maybe that is recently I was looking at vaping and the impact on mental health, right? So you could just type in vaping and mental health, right? And we're gonna get some results here. So the first thing that you would do is click since 2020. At least for my class, everything needs to be since 2020. Unless you find something really foundational that's a bit older that you absolutely need. For my class, I like to focus on more recent research. So we see stuff here that's now since 2020 because we clicked that button. And on the side here, we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. So for example, this one's going to be a PDF. This one's a website. Typically, I would suggest using PDFs over websites because websites aren't always peer-reviewed, but we can see that this is NIH, which is the National Institute of Health. So I know that that's a reputable source off the bat. But you can go in and you can, let's see, you could download a PDF. There will usually be some sort of PDF button. They might give you sometimes there's an online version as well, so you don't necessarily have to download it if you don't want to. But the PDF will be available somewhere at the top and you can download it there. So another thing that I was looking into was the social impact of solar eclipses because earlier this year there was a solar eclipse. And I actually had my students read this paper. So if we go and look at the social impact of solar eclipse, again, since 2020, I can assume here that this is a PDF, or that there's a PDF available for free. So we can go in here, we see that we have the online version of the paper, which is helpful. But again, sometimes it's helpful to download papers that you think you might refer to again. So here I might, go to the PDF, let's download it. I'm just gonna put this onto my desktop for easy access for right now. And then the first thing that I do once I download a PDF is I go to Zotero, which is technically a citation manager. It helps you keep track of papers. As you can see here, for my thesis, I wanted all of the important papers for my thesis in one folder. And the other cool thing is that if I wanted to look at any of these papers, well, I didn't save all of them correctly. Never mind. I'll give you another example. But let's say that I want to make a folder for papers for this class for the summer. So I might do BSA, summer 24 papers. So now I have a new folder here that I'm going to add all the papers that I want to use for this class. Or what you would do, my old Zotero got deleted, but I used to have a folder for every class that I took in college, and I saved all of the papers in there. And this is important because for my class particularly, I always leave the course open even after the class is over, just in case you want to access anything. But some professors close out their courses at the end of the course, and then you can't access any of those free papers that they gave to you. And a lot of the time when professors are posting papers, it's because they have free access and you want to take advantage of that. So maybe for this class, you create a folder and then you would add in here. What I've been doing is rather than link to file, if you link to file, then if you accidentally delete the file one day, it will be gone from Zotero. So store copy of file is really the move. So let's say we're storing copy of this file. Let's find the paper that we just downloaded on eclipses. Here it is. Oh, did it go in? Wait, let's see. Oh, wait. Okay, let's go here. Okay, yeah. So now we have this paper, The Social Effects of an Awesome Eclipse. And not only do we have the paper, but you could go in and actually pull up the paper in Zotero. You saw earlier when I was clicking on them and it didn't work. That's because I stored the link to the file rather than actually storing a copy of the file within Zotero, which is what you want to do. And then you have, access to all the papers from all of your classes for free forever. They can't take it from you. So again, making sure that you're organized, and this will help throughout college. And it's helpful if you start it at the beginning of college rather than waiting till the end to try to organize all of these papers that you have. Your computers end up filling up with all of these papers from all your classes. So this is the best way to organize it, or one of the best ways. So now let's talk about what happens if we don't have free access to the PDF. So let's see, let's say I'm looking into, for example, protest policing by Black police officers. So let's go in here. Again, let's make sure we're looking at stuff since 2020. I did have a paper in mind, so here's the paper. I was actually assigned this in a criminology class at Howard a few years ago. So let's say we have this paper, and we can see here we don't actually have the full paper online. They're not giving us the full version of it. They also aren't really offering the PDF. Sometimes you have to, it looks like when it says permissions, you might have to actually pay for it. So just for example, let's say that this doesn't have a free PDF, which I don't think that it does. What we're going to look for is the DOI. A DOI is essentially like an identification number. Every paper has its own DOI. So what we'll do is we'll take this DOI, we'll copy it, and then you'll see that I did link sci-hub here on Blackboard. So we're going to use sci-hub. Sci-hub helps us bypass any paywalls. If any papers aren't free, I just plug the DOI into sci-hub, and usually sci-hub can find it for us. So I published this particular link because they give you a few of the different websites for sci-hub. Sometimes they crash because it is a paywall bypasser, so I'm sure whatever. But you can use any of these. Sometimes, like let's say the first one doesn't work, I'll move on to the second one, try a couple of them, see what's up. But let's say that I use sci-hub SE, which I think is what I had up. So what you do is you just paste the DOI, click enter, and now I have the whole paper, which on Google Scholar I could not get for free. But using Sci-Hub, I was able to bypass that paywall, and I have the actual full version of the paper, and not only the full version of the paper, but the actual citation. Sometimes I just save the paper to Sci-Hub. I mean, sometimes I save the paper to Zotero just to get the citation, and sometimes I use Sci-Hub just to get the citation, because figuring out citation formats is difficult. So sometimes I'll just put a paper in here, copy and paste the citation. It's very easy, but Zotero will do the same thing and give you the accurate citation as well. So that's a couple ways to find citations. And then let's say, we have this free paper now through Sci-Hub. Sci-Hub also lets you download a copy, right? And so again, let's say that I'm just posting this to my desktop for now, because as soon as I submit it into Zotero, I can just delete it from my computer, which saves a lot of space. You don't, by the end of college, you'll have so many documents, and this is a good way to clear out your computer a bit. So again, I'm going to go in, store a copy of the file, and then let's see. Oh, not my game. So I think it's Coachella. And now I have this paper as well in Zotero. And again, you can delete it off your computer, and you can still double click it here and it will pop up within Zotero for you to review. So honestly, very, very convenient. Let me see what else I can tell you. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. But you can also kind of come in and add information about your paper. And just, that's pretty much it overall. I would use Google Scholar to find your paper. And then I would use Sci-Hub in case there's a paywall and you can't get the paper for free. And for all of your papers, I would be storing them in some sort of organized manner within Zotero or another similar citation manager. So if any of you have any questions in terms of finding quality research or using Google Doc or Sci-Hub or Zotero, let me know, but I definitely suggest these applications just to ensure you're organized throughout college. But we can talk more on Monday. Enjoy your afternoon. I will see you all soon.